Hello, Dave Roberts, Alykat Charters here again. Carrying on another episode of Alykat Tails. We've done the rays, we've done the smooth hounds, we've done the bull huss, the marvellous bull huss. Today we're going to try and catch some bass, one of the nation's favourite fish, both to catch and to eat. Great culinary values, fantastic fish. We know a little bit about it, we've done it before, but bass are very elusive sometimes. Sometimes you can fish and fish and fish and catch nothing, and then suddenly, bang, 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 you'll get them. So we're going to try today, see if we can get a few for the pot. Fantastic eating fish, fantastic sporting fish. So here we go, let's go try and find some. Right, so we're approaching a ridge here. It's not a reef. This is it is a reef, but it's a sort of a shingly type reef. It's not a very hard reef. It's sort of a soft ridgy reef. We're just approaching there now. With 67 feet of water, we're going to shallow up over that onto a ridge. Very often get the bass sitting on top or just behind this ridge. Just coming up there now. Approaching this fairly slowly. Up to 57 feet there now. Just going to look along this ridge a little bit just to see if we can find a few fish marking. Right, then here we go. On top of the ridge, a little bit of a fish mark there. Not too much, but that doesn't mean a lot with bass. Bass, very often you won't see much of them on the sonar equipment. But there's a little showing of something there which I think could possibly be a bass or two. I'm just going to run beyond this ridge and then we'll drift back down over it. There's not a lot showing there at all, actually, just a little mark there. But as I say, that doesn't really make a lot of difference. We're going to give it a try anyway, okay? Yeah, we've got another boat coming on the reef here. Now, that's okay. Yeah, okay, so this bass fishing, what we're doing, we're covering these ridges and ledges and reefs. We're drifting the place, which is as good a way as any. You're covering ground, you're finding fish, you're moving along, you'll find the fish on the sounder, you'll find little marks on the sounder. So, as I said, in the wheelhouse, not much. Sometimes you see a little mark and it can mean a fair bit of fish. Anyway, what I'm looking at here is lures. These fish will take pretty much anything. Once they're in a feeding mood, they will take pretty much anything. What I've got here are some leaded shads. Pink leaded shads, little white leaded shads, all sorts of different things here. Little leaded thing there. You know, the choice really is ours. It's very much like fly fishing. You know, the avid fly fisherman will select a fly on a river or a lake and think, oh, that's the one. But is it? You've got to try it and just see what happens. And much the same with these bass. They like a bright blue, bright white is very good. We've got to be wary of some of these lures. James, have a look at this. See the plastic on the hook? That is obviously to protect yourself, but remember to take it off when you're fishing, or else you'll catch nothing. So there we are, that's lures. I said variety of lures, anything can work. If you were a charter boat, listen to what the skipper says. One day there'll be one colour, next day the next colour. It's handy to be up to speed as to exactly what they're feeding on at the time. So I'm just watching this boat, what he's doing. He's just going to run up the ridge and drift back, I guess. Okay, tackle. I'm going to use here today, I'm going to stick with a Portland rig. Okay, so what we're going to do is we attach a swivel to the main line. We've got a swivel to the main line. We then attach probably 2 or 3 feet of mono, probably 30-pound mono. And then on that mono we'll slide a swivel with a bead either side. So we've got just a swivel sliding up and down this length of line. This is what we call a Portland rig. It can go up to the swivel, stop by the bead. It can come back down to the link swivel, which is to carry the weight. So it can go down there, and it runs much like a running trace, but it will actually slide up and down this length of line here. Brilliant for bass fishing. Length of trace. This one here is about 6 feet. 6 to 10 feet is about right. And again on the end we've got a leaded shad. These leaded shads seems to work. A good all-round lure. Again, what colour you use. These are all red gills. or red gill lure. All very similar sort of stuff, artificial lures emulating a fish in distress. Right, there we are, that's that. Okay, there's the lures, you've got your Portland rig. This is the setup we're going to use. Your type of weight depends, or your weight, size of weight depends on the tidal flow, obviously. Depends on the day. Sometimes you'll get away with 2-3 ounces, other days you'll need a 10 or 12 ounces. Depends what you need on the day with the tidal flow to keep the weight just touching that bottom, okay? Rod and reel, what I'm going to use today is this is actually a 20 to 30 pound boat rod. Very basic, 20 to 30 pound boat rod and a little multiplier. 18 pound line on there. Pretty basic gear, but it does the job, okay? And that's what I'm going to use today. In fact, I've got 2 or 3 people on there. I've got Martin, I've got James, but he don't say a lot, James. But we've got James, he's going to be there, and we're going to try and catch a bass to show you, okay? Okay, we're just dragging the bottom here with this lure. It's quite rough. I've got a take here now. Look at this, yeah, got one on here now. He's not doing much, he's not fighting a lot as a bass would normally do. Very often will do this, come up very quietly, and then as soon as you see the boat, oh, he's on there. It's a nice one. Oh, there he is. Ah, yeah. Oh, now he's seen the boat, now he's seen the light. Seen the light. Oh, there he is, look at this. Wow. There she is. She's a beauty. Look at this. Okay, I'll just slip the net over this. Lovely fish. Lovely fish. Look at this. Wow. Look at this thing. Here we go. Bass fishing, Alykat style. We've anchored this ridge now, and I've just put a very light lead on, and I'm dragging back over the top of the ridge. I've just picked up a bass now. It isn't very big. This is an anchor. We're at anchor now. A very small weight. There's a weight. See the weight? A long flowing trace, just the same as we were when we were drifting. We picked up this beautiful little bass. There you are. Look at that. Look at it. There he is. A beautiful, stunning little bass. Beautiful. Beautiful fish. Okay, James, I'm going to release that one. That's a small bass. He is in size, he's in legal size. But we'll release that one to fight another day. Okay? It's a beautiful fish. There you go. Lovely little bass. Okay, we're hitting the bass, boys. Good. Okay, we're just going to lower this lure down to the bottom. This is a little bit of rough ground. We're just going to drag the line along the bottom, drag the lure along the bottom. We call it bimbling. It's a little bang sort of noise on the bottom. And that really is it. We've gone up a little bit of a rough patch here, a bit of a reef. And so I'm just literally dragging this lure along the bottom. The boat's drifting at about 2.6 knots, which is about right for this sort of thing. See the end of the rod just dangling, clanking on the bottom. The lure clanking on the bottom. Not any movement into it at all. It's there. We're travelling at 2.6 knots, so that's good enough to give a bit of life to this lure, a bit of action to it. This really is all there is to bass fishing. If the bass are going to feed, they'll feed. It doesn't really matter what lure we're using, but we do like to use bright lures. The water's a little bit murky, so a bright coloured lure will probably help in this sort of situation. Just dragging along here. Bass are proving a little bit finicky at the moment, but you never know with these things. Martin here fishing a similar method. Okay, we just had a look at this ridge. We've seen a couple of bass on top of this ridge. There's not many there, but we're just hoping we can find one or two here. Just bimbling along, just dragging along the bottom. Dragging along the bottom. Little retrieve there. Oh yeah, there's one. There's a fish. Come on, Martin. Come on, Martin. Do something. Whoa! We're in. Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, there we go. We got one. There's a little bass. Look at that. There's a little bass. Yay! Okay, put a net in that one. Yeah. Oh! There you go, baby. Oh, Martin got one as well. Look here. Come here. Look here. Oh! There. A little double hit. Ooh. There you go. Not big fish, but beautiful. Beautiful little Bristol Channel bass from our little reef. Lovely. Okay, there we go. Beautiful little bass. This will take on a little white and blue lure. The lures matter not really. I mean, once the bass are feeding, they will pretty much take anything. Pretty much take anything. He's a beauty. Not big, but he's in size. He's well in legal size. So we will take this one. And I'm going to show you how to cook it. Right, we've got Russell here. It's a Cardiff boat here. He's drifting this ridge. I just see he's taking a couple of fish there now. Right, we've had a little drift. We've had a nice bit of fun. There's only 3 of us on the boat. So we've had a little drift. We've caught some fish. And this is the result. Look at this. Most fantastic fish in the world. The bass. Dicentrocus labrax. Scientifically known as. We've just caught the 3 here. They're all perfectly legal size. We've got 1 each. It's perfectly enough for us. We don't want to catch too many fish, so we've had a little run. We've caught a few fish, and that's it for us. So these things, beautiful as they are, look at this. Look at this. Fantastic fish. The thing with this is you've got to be so careful. The handling, I'm just going to show you a little bit of the handling of these things. As beautiful as they look, very dangerous. Look at this. That is spikes, and that is serious spikes. See that plaster on my finger? That's how serious these spikes are. Just one little prick from there and you will be in trouble. They're really dangerous. Beware, beware. The other thing to watch is this gill cover here. See the gill cover? Beautiful thing. But that there, see that edge? That edge there is a razor. That will cut your finger to bits. What it will also do, when the bass takes the lure, I wonder if I can show you that here. Could have had one. Here's one. When the bass takes your lure, take him. The bass runs away, he gets this, gets the line in there, and he'll cut the line off with that ridge. Worth thinking about. So £30, 25, £30 line for a trace. 5, 10, £8 line is no good. That raker there will cut it off, be gone. That's just that. So handling bass, there you are. Be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful. There he is. So we've got 3 beautiful fish. These fish, we're keeping 1 fish each at the moment. The government does apply regulations, apply limitations to what fish we can catch. It will often apply to the bass. So we can't just take whatever we want, even if we wanted to. We do apply serious conservation rules on the Alykat. But some people will want to take a lot of fish. We don't allow that. 1 or 2 fish each is enough. But the government will apply bans. 1 or 2 fish. We've got 2 fish limit at the moment, but we're going to take 1 today. So you've got to abide by the governmental rules. Hopefully we can conserve these species so we can catch them again. Not the same ones, but we can catch a fish again later on. Catch them and release. Okay? Right, we've got our bass. Beautiful, beautiful bass. No better eating fish. Again, watch the spike. All I'm going to do with this fish, I'm going to prepare this for the table. I'm going to show you later on what we're going to do with it, but we're simply going to barbecue it. Yeah, I'm just going to prepare this for the barbecue. We're going to put it on the barbecue hole, and that will then become a centerpiece on the table. What could be better? Look at that. What we're going to do is take the scales off. We need to take the scales off. Nothing worse then get a mouthful of this. Look at this. This is a special scaling tool, by the way. Very useful tool. I'll just run that up from the tail, up the length of the fish, and you see these scales are like tiddlywinks. Do this job on the boat, preferably in a bucket actually. I'm just doing this to show you what I'm doing, but if you do it in a bucket then all this mess doesn't go all over the place. But to do this, get the scales off. A mouthful of these is no fun, I can assure you. They can wreck the fish completely. This now is cleaning all that off, right up to the shoulder of the fish. Beautiful, beautiful silver fish, look at that. Finest fish, one of the finest fish in the world. So, there he is. That side will do the same, the other side. This tool will take all those scales off very quickly, like that. I don't often fillet bass because it's such a beautiful fish to present like this. I'm just going to rinse that off here. Okay, there we are. Oh. Scales all gone. That there is ready for cooking. I'm going to gut the fish, obviously. Better scale it before you gut it, because if you gut it first, it goes all floppy in here and you can't get the scaler on. So scaling it first, it's nice and firm. So I'm just going to take the guts out of that. Okay, there she's finished. Scales off, nicely cleaned, gutted, ready for the barbecue. I'm going to take this back home and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this back at home. Okay? Right then, here we are back at the farmhouse. We've got our bass. We've caught some lovely bass today. It was fantastic fishing. Not too many, as I said earlier, but we've got a bass. We've got some lovely bass. Just going to do this really simple. It's a whole fish. I've taken the head off. Got it on the barbecue there now, cooking slowly. It's a simple preparation. There's nothing to it. Off with the head, off with the tail if you need to, if it's big enough or too big. But this one's just about right. We've got the scales off. I showed you how to descale the fish earlier on. And we're just going to put it on the barbecue. I put a bit of chopped garlic on this one, some spring onions, a little bit of ginger, sliced ginger in olive oil, and just smear that on the fish, most of which has fallen off now, but it doesn't really matter, the flavour is still there. Really nice. So here we are, the whole bass is there. Fantastic fish. This is going to be a centrepiece fish. It's brilliant for any big occasion, small occasion, doesn't matter what it is, it's fantastic. On the plate, whole fish, ready to serve. I'm just going to finish this off on the barbecue now, then we'll go from there. We'll finish it off with some boiled potatoes, a side salad, some asparagus we've got here, wrapped in Parma ham, which is really nice. So this is back to basics food, you know, no chef stuff, no measures, no culinary expertise, nothing like that. It's just a nice fish, fantastic fish, one of the best you'll ever get. And if you can catch your own, even better. Let's have a look at it. Okay, here we've got the fish straight off the barbecue. We've got a little plate of food there. We've got some asparagus wrapped in Parma ham, as I said. We've got some peppers grilled on the barbecue. We've got courgettes fresh out of the garden. Nobody likes courgettes. I don't like courgettes. James likes courgettes, but you don't say a lot, James. He just sat behind the film, the camera. I was going to ask you, James, actually, that smooth hound film we did, when you and I were actually catching smooth hounds, who was doing the filming? Doesn't matter, don't worry about it. Right, so here we are. We've got the bass straight off the barbecue. There she is, finished. I'm just going to plate a little bit of this because we've actually got guests and I'm trying to be polite and it's not really my thing, but I'm just going to take a little bit of fillet of bass there. Look at that, perfection cooking. That'll go on there, and that there. A little bit extra bass there. And that is superb. Fantastic. So there we are. A little bit of lemon there, some bits of veg, and that's your finished plate of food. Okay, lovely. Just while we're waiting for that to cool down a bit, because it is rather hot, we're just getting ready here. Nice glass of Sauvignon Blanc. I'm not one to drink much, as you possibly know, but I'll try a drop of that. What I want to put at this stage, before we finish this section of Alykat Tails, if you've been watching the Alykat Tails and you enjoy what you're seeing, we've had a lot of good positive feedback on this and a lot of people wanting to see more, so we do have a couple more films coming up. I think we've got actually 3. James, is it? Nod your head, because he doesn't say a lot, James. Nod your head, that's great. I think we've got 3 more coming up, various films on Alykat Tails. So if you're enjoying it, we do actually have a book. It's going to be called Absolute Angling. It's about the fishing and stories and tales of Alykat ventures. Some nice little stories, I think. We've got techniques, we've got rigs, we've got baits, we've got a pigeon nearly knocked my flaming head off. We've got techniques, we've got baits, we've got different methods. It's more or less all about fishing in the Bristol Channel, though you can adapt various methods and techniques obviously for different parts of the world. Different parts around this country have similar topography, similar tidal settings, and of course my methods that we use on Alykat are very basic. We don't go into too many complications. I mean, you see professional anglers, big boxes of loads of different rigs and gear and things, which is fantastic, it's great, but for catching fish you don't need it. The basic animals. Let's go through a few basic steps, basic techniques, basic baits, get the bait down and catch a fish. This is what Absolute Angling is all about. We're having a bit of fun with it, where we're trying to, it's not really for the expert, because you experts know exactly what you're doing, you don't need me to tell you. So this is from the beginner up through, working your way through, a bit of fun in the Bristol Channel, or as I say, anywhere else around the country where you can adapt my techniques and methods to suit. So if you're interested, Absolute Angling is a must. The response to my book Absolute Angling has been amazing, so much so that we've decided to say a real big thank you to all wonderful anglers and danglers who have purchased it. All your names will be entered into a draw. The winner will receive a 3 days charter of Alykat worth £250, the winner of which obviously we'll have to arrange the date with. If you've not yet got your copy and you'd like one, there's still time. The draw will take place at midday on the 28th of February. The book can be purchased on Amazon as a paperback or as Kindle, but please leave a supportive review with your Christian name and a surname initial for identification purposes, as Amazon do not disclose identities, so if you don't leave a review we can't tell who you are. Okay, so if you would like a signed copy, contact me direct at www.alykatimages.com. Follow the Absolute Angling tab and simply fill out the form. We will do the rest. Again, many thanks for all your support and for watching our Alykat Tails videos. Thank you.